Indiana just approved NIL-style opportunities for high school athletes. And I think most athletes, parents, and even coaches still don't realize how much this is about to change the sports landscape. Because this isn't only about talent anymore, it's about attention, branding, visibility, content, and influence. Some athletes are about to make money before they ever become stars on the field. And later in this episode, I'm going to give away what might be the easiest branding opportunity in high school sports right now for female athletes. It's something athletes are already posting constantly, but almost nobody is monetizing it correctly. What's up, team? It's Coach, and today we're talking about Indiana's new high school NIL, personal branding, social media, and why the future athlete is going to look very different from the athletes we grew up watching. Building a brand today is just as important as making a highlight tape, and the athletes who understand that early are going to separate themselves fast. So first, let's break down what actually happened. Indiana officially approved NIL-style opportunities for high school student athletes. Indiana became the 43rd state to do this. Now, this is important. Indiana intentionally did not use the term NIL. Instead, they called it personal branding activities. And that word matters because Indiana is trying to separate high school sports from the chaos we're seeing in college athletics right now. This is not supposed to become pay for play, recruiting wars, booster collectives, or high school free agency. The idea behind the rule is this: student athletes should be able to monetize their identity, their name, their image, their personality, and their influence. But schools themselves are still protected. So athletes cannot use school logos, uniforms, or imply that the school is sponsoring or arranging these deals. And this is where a lot of people are already confused, because when parents hear NIL, they immediately think my kid is about to get paid because they're good at sports. That's not necessarily true. This new era is going to reward athletes who understand visibility, branding, audience connection, and attention, because attention has value now. I keep saying building a brand today is just as important as making a highlight tape. Athlete with the biggest future opportunities may not always be the best athlete. It may be the athlete who knows how to communicate, create content, tell their story, and build an audience. That's where this whole thing is headed. Now, let me explain something really important. What Indiana approved is not the same as a college NIL. College athletics is a whole different world. You got NIL collectives, booster money, the transfer portal, and all that nonsense. Revenue sharing, athletes basically operating like free agents. Some elite athletes are making 6 figures, some even 7, but most aren't making anything close to that amount. And now, schools are moving towards revenue sharing, meaning schools may directly pay athletes a portion of the revenue that they're making. That's starting to look a lot more like professional sports. But Indiana high school sports is not doing that. This is not supposed to become, come to our school and we'll pay you. That's not what it's intended to be. Indiana's version is centered around personal branding, meaning athletes can create content, monetize social media, promote businesses, they can run camps, build audiences, earn affiliate income, and partner with local brands. But schools themselves cannot directly pay athletes or arrange deals. And I think this is where athletes need to shift their mindset, because the old school model said, just be great at sports. The new model says, can people connect with you? Do people remember you? Can you tell a story? Can you build attention? Because attention is the new currency. The future athlete is an athlete plus a content creator. The athletes who understand content early are going to have a massive advantage moving forward. The most marketable athlete usually isn't the best athlete. Sometimes it's the most relatable athlete, the most entertaining athlete, the athlete with personality, the athlete people like. That's where sports are heading. And let me rephrase that. This is where sports already are. So what does the future athlete actually look like? Because I think we're watching sports change in real time. The future athlete isn't just somebody who plays a sport. And I think a lot of athletes are still stuck in that old mindset. They think highlights are enough, stats are enough, offers are enough. Meanwhile, attention is becoming part of the recruiting process. Visibility matters now. College coaches, brands, businesses, and even fans want connection. They want personality, storytelling, consistency, communication. And that's why some athletes are exploding right now on social media, not because they're the number one player in the country, but because people feel connected to them. And this is the part athletes need to understand early. The most marketable athlete usually isn't the best athlete. Sometimes it's the funny athlete, the relatable athlete, the athlete documenting their journey, the athlete with confidence, the athlete who understands presentation. And that's why I think athletes need to stop thinking like, how do I go viral? And start thinking, how do I become recognizable? Some athletes are building audiences right now that could turn into businesses, partnerships, speaking opportunities, content careers, brand deals, media opportunities before you even go to college. This generation of athlete will look completely different from previous generations because previous generations mostly needed talent. This generation needs talent plus visibility. And one group that I think is about to benefit from this faster than anybody else is the female athlete. People are seriously underestimating girl sports right now. Girl sports may benefit from high school NIL faster than boys. And before you get bent out of shape, hear me out. A lot of females already understand things that male athletes just don't. They already know how to post consistently, create aesthetically pleasing content, build engagement, connect with followers, create personality-driven content. That's what matters in this new era. Brands don't sponsor talent anymore. They're looking for attention. That's why you're seeing volleyball TikTok explode. Women's basketball content is growing. Girls flag football is going to be huge. Mark my words. Female athletes are going to build bigger brands in high school than male athletes. That's how fast this shift is happening. Social media rewards personality, confidence, consistency, and relatability. And a lot of female athletes already naturally understand that space. Now here's the part athletes and parents need to understand. This don't mean be fake. This don't mean become an influencer instead of an athlete. It means learn how to present yourself, learn how to tell your story, learn how to communicate, learn how to build a recognizable identity online. Visibility creates opportunity. So I recently did a breakdown of an athlete's Instagram page that immediately stood out to me, and not because she was an athlete. It stood out because her page felt like a brand. I'm talking about Joirdyn R. Smith, or Joe Buckets, on Instagram. And what I think athletes need to understand is good branding communicates who you are before you ever say a word. The second I landed on her page, I immediately understood who she was, what type of athlete she is, her personality, her vibe, her confidence, and her image. That's branding. And that's where many athletes are missing the moment, because most athlete pages look random. You got blurry highlights, a repost, maybe a motivational quote, and a couple bad selfies. That's it. You got no consistency, no identity, no storytelling. Athletes separating themselves online, their pages feel intentional. And that matters because recruiters and brands make decisions fast. People have to decide within seconds whether they want to follow you, whether they connect with you, and whether they see value in your brand. Another thing Joirdyn's page did really well was it showed her personality outside of sports. That's huge. Brands sponsor people, not stat sheets. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Brands sponsor people, not stat sheets. Confidence, communication, presentation, and relatability, all that matters. Here's another thing athletes misunderstand. Followers do not automatically equal influence. Connection equals influence. You can have 2,000 followers, but if people trust you, engage with you, and watch your content, you have value. That's why I keep saying a lot of people have social media pages, but very few actually have brands. The athletes who understand this early are going to create opportunities that previous generations of athletes never had access to. Now, let's talk about where most athletes are messing this all the way up. Most athletes still treat social media like random entertainment. They don't realize their page is becoming part of their reputation, part of their resume, Here's the biggest mistake I see. Most athletes only post highlights. That's it. Clips, stats, some random graphics, and a motivational quote. If I scroll your page for 10 seconds and learn nothing about you, you don't have a brand yet. Branding is about identity. It's about who you are, what you care about, your personality, and what makes you different than everybody else. Most athlete pages are all the same, and some of you are actually hurting your brand by the things you post. College recruiters and brands are absolutely looking at your pages. They're evaluating your maturity, your attitude, your discipline, and your behavior. Some of you are killing your chances and you don't even know it. Here's another reality nobody's talking about. Many sports parents are preparing their athletes for the old world of sports. They'll spend thousands on camps, private trainers, travel teams, and equipment, but spend zero time teaching athletes communication, networking, branding, confidence on camera, storytelling, or most importantly, professionalism online. Those skills matter now more than ever. And the athletes who understand that early are going to kill it in this new age of sports. Now, let's actually talk about opportunities, because I think a lot of parents hear NIL and immediately think my kid needs 100,000 followers. No, they don't. Some of the best opportunities are local. And this version of high school NIL may actually benefit middle tier athletes more than elite athletes, because local businesses care about local attention, not national fame. That means a high school athlete with 2,000 or 3,000 engaged followers might actually be more valuable than somebody with 100,000 random followers. That's huge. So what are the best ways athletes can make money right now? Number one, local sponsorships. I'm talking about gyms, restaurants, barbershops, trainers, photographers, smoothie shops, boutiques, all these things in your local neighborhood. A local athlete already has visibility, recognition, trust, and community attention, especially in a sports town. Friday Night Lights is basically live local advertising, and smart businesses are eventually going to wake up and realize that. The second way athletes can be making money right now is content creation. I'm talking about TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. Athletes should already be documenting their workouts, their game day routines, capturing behind the scenes content. If they're getting recruited, those recruiting visits, documenting their recruiting journey is going to be huge. People love process content. They love to feel connected to your journey. The third way you can be making money right now is camps and lessons. Athletes think, I'm not a superstar yet. You don't have to be. A JV athlete can still make money teaching younger athletes. Parents pay for access and mentorship all the time. Number 4 is affiliate marketing. Have an Amazon storefront. Promote sports gear, supplements, clothing. If you're already recommending products anyway, you might as well monetize it. And number 5, UGC content. And I think this is going to be one of the easiest money-making opportunities for athletes. UGC, that means brands paying athletes to create content. Not necessarily because the athlete has a huge following, but because they know how to present content well. That's important. Follower count matters less than most people think. Presentation matters more. Can you create good content? Can you communicate? Can you make products look appealing? That's valuable. And remember, I still haven't given away what I think is the easiest branding opportunity for female athletes. That's coming at the end. Here's another thing nobody's talking about yet. The businesses that understand this early are going to win big, especially when it comes to female athletes, because I think female athlete branding is about to become one of the most overlooked business opportunities in sports. So now the question becomes, how does an athlete actually start building a brand? Because I know some athletes hear all this and think, okay, coach, where do I start? First, clean up your profile. And this sounds simple, but most athletes don't do it. Get a good profile picture. Clean up your bio. Remove bad posts. Stop posting random nonsense, because your page should instantly communicate who you are, what sport you play, and what your personality is. That's step 1. Step 2, pick your content pillar, meaning what do you want your content to revolve around? Maybe it's workouts, humor, recruiting, fashion, or game day content. The pages that grow usually have recognizable themes. Step 3, post consistently. And no, you don't need a camera crew. Your cell phone is enough. Some of the best athlete content right now is simple, authentic, behind-the-scenes content. People love process content. They love seeing your workouts, bus rides, pregame routines, and day-in-the-life content. Step 4, tell your story. This matters more than anybody realizes. The athletes people emotionally connect with usually grow the fastest. People love an underdog, a comeback story, unique personality, confidence, authenticity. That's what creates loyal audiences. Remember, branding today is just as important as making a highlight tape. Talent might get you noticed, but branding makes people remember you. And that's why I created my athlete branding checklist. It walks athletes through what to post, how to structure your profile, branding mistakes to avoid, and how to stand out online in this new era of sports. The athletes who understand this early will separate themselves fast. You can download this checklist for free. The link is in the show notes down below. All right, let's get to the branding opportunity I teased earlier in this episode. And once I say this, some of you are going to look at your Instagram completely different. If you're a female athlete with influence online, your hairstylist should probably be paying you. Seriously, think about how often female athletes post game day pictures, TikTok, selfies, media day content, recruiting visits, workout videos. And one of the first things people notice is your hair. Whether you got braids or sew-in, extensions, they're looking at your makeup, your lashes. That's attention. And that attention has value. So if an athlete already influences what shoes people wear, what hoodie people buy, what gloves people use, why wouldn't they influence a salon? Hair products, beauty brands, extensions, lashes, edge control products. That's branding. And that's why I keep saying NIL is bigger than sports. Influence touches everything. Some female athletes could literally start with free installs, discounted appointments, an affiliate link, an ambassador deal, just by promoting the stylists or products they already use. And the crazy part, a lot of female athletes are already creating this content for free. They just haven't realized it has value yet. The athletes who understand influence early are going to create opportunities other athletes never even think about, because the future athlete won't just play the game. They'll know how to market themselves too. Guys, this is way bigger than sports. And I think that's the part people are really going to understand over the next few years. This isn't just about making money in high school. Athletes are learning branding earlier, and they're also learning communication, marketing, networking, storytelling, business, media skills, entrepreneurship. And those skills are going to last them long after sports are over. Some athletes are going to leave high school with audiences, partnerships, businesses, personal brands that keep growing into college and beyond. That's the shift. The future athlete won't just play the game. They'll know how to market themselves. And I really believe this generation of athlete may be the first to leave high school with actual brands. Not just memories, not just stats, not just highlight tapes, actual brands. So if you're an athlete or a sports parent, the question is no longer, are you good at sports? The question is, do people remember you? If you want me to review your athlete profile or brand strategy, tag your Instagram in the comments of this video. And make sure you go watch my breakdown of Joe Buckets, because that is what the future athlete looks like. Catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.